NASA, the American Space Agency, conducted a study which has yielded very alarming results. It is indeed cause for concern, because although the study was conducted in America, its effects will be felt all over the world. This American study has issued a warning that by the year 2050, nearly all of America's coastlines will be submerged by rising sea levels. The study also outlines which coastlines will be affected and to what extent. If America's coastlines are submerged, it will have a detrimental impact on many countries around the world. Friends, welcome back to my channel. According to this report, the danger is not only of coastlines being submerged, but the risk of sea flooding during every minor storm will also increase. NASA conducted this study by analyzing 3 decades of satellite data. NASA scientists then reported that due to the sea flood, America's coastlines will sink up to 1 foot, 12 inches, which is more than the current sea level. The Gulf Coast and Southeast Coast will be most affected, which means that many coastal states such as New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Virginia in America will be in trouble. According to this report, the danger is not only of coastlines being submerged, but the risk of sea flooding during every minor storm will also increase. NASA conducted this study by analyzing 3 decades of satellite data. NASA scientists then reported that due to the sea flood, America's coastlines will sink up to 1 foot, 12 inches, which is more than the current sea level. The Gulf Coast and Southeast Coast will be most affected, which means that many coastal states such as New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Virginia in America will be in trouble. Along with rising sea levels, the biggest challenge that will arise is the sea level rise caused by storms. This study was recently published in the Communications Earth and Environment Journal by the United States. NASA's study also analyzed research reports from several scientific agencies, called the Sea Level Rise Technical Report. It states that in the next 30 years, America's coasts will be flooded with water. Sea level on the east coast of the United States will rise by 10 to 14 inches, on the Gulf Coast by 14 to 18 inches, and on the west coast by 4 to 8 inches. Scientists from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory were also involved in conducting this study. These people have validated the multi-agency study based on satellite data. Their data has been corroborated. Their satellites have modern information about the Earth. Climate scientist Jonathan Overpack from the University of Michigan has stated that NASA has measured the sea level using its satellite altimeter, which was then combined with NOAA's tide gauge records. NOAA has been collecting this data for the past 100 years. After analyzing the data, NASA has concluded that their readings are not incorrect, and the data from ground level also matches their findings. The biggest concern is that this data is accurate, which means the future of American coastlines is at risk. Jonathan explained that NASA is not surprised by their study's results, but rather they are alarmed. We know that the sea level is rising rapidly, and we also know the reason behind it. The main cause is the melting of polar ice caps. As more polar ice caps melt, the sea level will continue to rise. The melting of polar ice caps is due to global warming. This means that the temperature of the Earth and the sea surface is increasing rapidly, and the air is also getting warmer. Therefore, it is essential to act to reduce global warming in 2022 to 23. The climate scientist David Holland from New York University says that NASA's data is accurate. The Gulf Coast will be the most affected area. According to the predictions, the water level will rise up to 1 foot here. This means that hurricanes and storm cyclones that occur in the future will bring more trouble and disasters. This means that the danger is constantly increasing. The American coasts will have to face the effects of El Niño and La Niña until the mid-2030s. This means that many coastal states in America will have to struggle with sea level rise due to changes in the moon's orbit, El Niño and La Niña effects, and the increase in sea levels in the next 18.6 years. This means that in the next 18.6 years, coastal areas will be at risk of flooding due to rising sea levels. The condition of the coasts is deteriorating and is expected to worsen by the year 2050, as the sea level is projected to rise due to El Niño, which warms the surface of the ocean and increases the frequency of storms. Ben Hamilton, head of NASA's Sea Level Change Team, has stated that this is a significant challenge, and the study conducted in America will have an impact worldwide. The rise in sea level will lead to a variety of other natural problems, not just an increase in sea level. Data from the past 30 years have been analyzed, and the next 30 years' predictions are both accurate and frightening. Robert Nichols, director of the Tyndall Centre for Climate Change Research in England, said that we cannot ignore this study. We must educate people living on the coasts, as well as every country's government and administration, to reduce pollution levels. If sea levels rise, there will be changes in the weather that could be dangerous, and this is not just a problem in America, but it will affect the entire world. Humans need to to understand that climate change is their doing and that it will bring many new dangers. Therefore, it is essential to adapt to changing climate and work together as a society because humans alone cannot reverse this change. This will affect future generations, and we must act responsibly to minimize the impact. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe my channel.